Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. A very cold, frigid Wednesday. I had a coffee cup, my Wawa cup from yesterday in the car. Now I got to clean that car out, right? And there was like, you know, the remnants of coffee. There's like 2 inches, not like maybe an inch of coffee, and it froze. I was like, damn, look at this. It froze. Oh, my God. This is miserable. And we're careening toward an epic snowstorm that's going to hit over the weekend. Oh, my. Fun times. And to boot, the Eagles lose out on Mike McDaniel. I'm crushed. I really liked Mike McDaniel. I did. I thought Mike McDaniel was the optimum candidate for the Eagles job. Smart, right? Very good in the run game. Also understands going over the middle of the field. Really just to me, a perfect kind of guy that you can say, hey, Mike, make this yours. Like, one of the important things in life is to find, when you're looking for people, right, to run things, you got to find the right guy that you go, all right, I'm going to put this in your lap, and then I'm going to get out of your way. And then you're going to handle it. And I thought Mike McDaniel was the perfect guy for that. I did. I'm not going to say crushed like the Bichette thing, but I thought he was a really good candidate that unfortunately chose to go to the Chargers. Is it a slight on the Eagles? I don't think so. He didn't choose the Chargers because he didn't want to work with Jalen or Nick or anything like that. I do believe that if you're Mike McDaniel and you have these two jobs in your hand, right? Like he was going to go interview with Cleveland. He's like, no, which is smart. Like, don't take the Cleveland job because, you know, the best thing to do is go back, rehabilitate what you want, become the hot candidate again, right? Like, you go and you turn an offense around, you then become a hot candidate for a job. And you can get a better job than Cleveland. So I think that's what's in the back of his mind. Now, you're still being paid, I don't know, $26 million from Miami. You can go anywhere you want. In fairness, now I hate to say this, but like we're talking about frozen coffee and the whole thing. Listen, LA, when you got money, LA's a great place to live, man. Now, you got to have money. So if you're sitting on 26 mil, you go, hey, I'm going out west. And your wife's from there. So his wife is from out there. And then when you stack up the two jobs, this is not to say the Eagles' job is unattractive, but if you're stacking them up, you go, all right, it's Harbaugh or it's Sirianni. Now, Harbaugh's going to say, hey, Mike, run it, right? You run this thing. It's your baby. And Harbaugh's got staying power there. Like, he's not going anywhere. You come here, like, if the Eagles go, I don't know, 9-8 and miss the playoffs, or, you know, maybe you make the playoffs and lose in the wild card. I don't know that Nick Sirianni's safe. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman may say, you know what? We need a new voice. And now I'm Mike McDaniel. I just came here. I've been here 1 year. And through a lot of change, right? Like, there's going to be no A.J. Brown. At least in with the Chargers, I got a couple good. I got McConkey. I got Quentin Johnson. I got some pieces, right, to throw the ball. You know, I got a younger quarterback in Herbert. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that, you know, again, I think you got some talent. Obviously, you get Jalen's good. You got, you know, Devontae. Saquon, right? I still got a shell of an offensive line that can be good. So it's not to say the Eagles' job is unattractive, but I do think the stability is greater with the Chargers. Just because I don't think Harbaugh's going anywhere, and I do think Nick is on a show-me year. I believe that. Like, we saw the Jeff McClain story that Nick was on the hot seat last year before the turnaround. Would you be shocked if Nick gets blown out? I wouldn't. So I do think it makes sense. Not to mention, the biggest piece of the puzzle is you go to the Chargers, there's absolutely no pressure. No pressure. I don't say dark side, it's not fair. The flip side of the passion here is it's a tough place to work. It just is. Ask Kevin Petullo, right? He had his house egged, right? People throw rocks. Like, it's a tough place to play. Now, you win, you're God, it's great, but there's enormous pressure. There's no pressure with the Chargers. None. They don't even have a fan base in LA, right? Like, their fan base was in San Diego. They're just kind of getting their foothold in the LA market. There's no pressure. And you got a lot of paper, and your wife's out there. Like, your family's out, your in-laws are out there. So when you're working, 16 hours a day, your wife's got family. I mean, it makes sense for him to choose that. Now, for the Eagles, where else is there? Or who else is there? I think you got to focus on Dable. Now, he could get the Buffalo job. He could get a head coaching job. But if he doesn't, I want Dable. I think Dable, he's a close second for me behind McDaniel. I like Dable. I think Dable did a lot of great things in Buffalo. I think Dable's a smart guy. Yeah, you know what? He swam a little bit with the Giants. I think that was a roster thing. It was, they were never, it wasn't like they were like a rookie quarterback. My only beef with Dable with the Giants is I thought he ran Dart too much and exposed Dart. Other than that, I think the guy is passionate, smart. I like him a lot. And I would go full bore with Dable. They know him. Jalen knows him, right? Like the Alabama connection. Sirianni knows him. Like, I think he's the perfect guy. If not McDaniel, then Dable. The only problem is, does he get a head coaching job? And if he does, then you start to look around and you go, well, where are we at? Then you're looking at, is it Kingsbury? I would have interest in him. I don't think it's going to happen. I heard there's not really a great fit with Kingsbury and the Eagles. So, you have that. Otherwise, it's my guess right now, if Dable gets a head coaching job, it'll be Kafka. That's kind of how I'm reading it. So my hope and prayer is with Dable coming here. He's going to interview. Obviously he's got an eye out for another head job, but hopefully it all works out and you get Dable. You get Dable, I feel good because I think he can work with Jalen. I think one of the issues of the Eagles' offense was a lack of confidence. In fact, I even talked to BG about this on the air, right? And, there was a confidence, that word came up. I heard that word several times talking to people behind the scenes. I think there was a little bit of a crisis of confidence with that offense. So I think Dable comes in. I think he can steady it pretty quickly. I think he can get Jalen back to flourishing. I think you got Devontae. You still got Saquon. Like, I still think there's upside there. And I think Dable can get it out. So that's kind of where I'm at today when it comes to the OC. We'll talk more about that. We got a lot. EJ's coming up in about 15 minutes. So we'll talk to EJ about it. We're going to talk to the brain. We got Devon to talk some Sixers. It's a shame last night, right? They go down to Phoenix. Funny, Maxey had the great news, and he struggled a little bit. I love Tyrese, man. So we'll talk about that Rob Parker, who's my buddy from Fox, will join us. I want to talk baseball with Rob. Rob, we had the Hall of Fame announcements, and Rob put in a blank vote. Like his ballot, he left blank because he didn't think anybody was worthy of it. And I agree with him. Rob and I covered baseball years ago in New York. So I'm looking forward to talking to Rob from Fox. Good morning, VG.
Hey, good morning, man. This feels like a tough week. I know misery.
Dom.
Hey, Dom.
Hi, chat.
I know misery week ended, but I'm bummed. I'm not, like you said, you characterize it good. I'm not as bummed as Bo Bichette going bummed, but McDaniel was a flashy young guy with some innovation and some complexity we haven't seen in a bit.
Yeah.
I was looking for that. I'm great with Dable and Kingsbury. Other than that, it starts to be a little underwhelming. I mean, Kafka, I love the backup quarterbacks who stink. They usually become pretty decent coaches. I liked what he did in New York with Dart and the receivers up there. But it's a little underwhelming for where we are.
Yeah. I get it. I do think Kafka is a smart guy. They know him. He was here.
Yeah.
Right? So they're familiar with him. I wouldn't be devastated. But to your point, like I want Dable. The fact that we lost out on McDaniel, and I loved McDaniel. I think Dable, if McDaniel's 1A, I think Dable's 1B. And I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah, I do. There's a part of me that was worrisome that McDaniel didn't even come and talk to them, like didn't interview here. And I do feel like you've mentioned it, Diana Rossini's mentioned it, it's not the most appealing and attractive job. And if you take Jalen and Herbert out of it, there's other factors. There's so many unknowns with the line here, tight end, receiver, and like you said, Nick's stability.
Well, they got their own line issues. I mean, both
they do. They got
hurt.
injured, but hopefully they come back and they play. I mean,
right.
We got Lane. Even if he comes back, you don't know how he is at his age. Steen and Toth stink, and then you got injuries with Jurgens and Dickerson that seem to be repetitive. I just think there's more unknowns here than there are in San Diego.
I think the future of Nick plays into that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, do you want to go into a place where the head coach, like, what if you don't? People will say, "Well, you would then become a candidate." Yeah, but you got the stink from the year on you, right?
Yes.
And the head coach gets blown out. Like, I don't know. Like, I would rather go to a place with stability, a place like the Chargers,
right,
where I get that offense cooking. I'm going to be the front runner for a job next year.
It'd be like, can there be any jobs next year? It's unbelievable how many openings there are this year.
10,
and it's unfortunately for the Eagles,
it's the most since 22. I think
it's a bad season to need an OC this year because of the timing with all these head coach openings.
Yes,
it's just terrible. I mean,
but to your point, like, I don't think it's a slight. It's not a slight with Hurts. It's not a slight. I don't really think it's a big slight to the Eagles. Let me ask you this. Like, forget football, right?
Yes.
Because we just talked about the Chargers versus the Eagles. L.A. versus Philadelphia. Listen, there's a reason why I choose to live here. Like, I was out. Like, if I wanted to stay out, I would have stayed in New York, right? Mm. But it's home, right? But if you're not from here and you look objectively and go, all right, I got Philadelphia, I got L.A. And if I go to L.A., I got money. And money in L.A., you live well. I mean, these 7-degree days where my coffee freezes doesn't happen in Los Angeles.
Let me tell you this.
And my wife is from L.A.
And the wife aside, if I hit Powerball or one of my scripts became a successful TV show or movie, I would be so quick out of here and in the LA. West Hollywood is my happy space. It's just so expensive. Like, you can't live out there. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, West Hollywood, that's where I'm at. I'd be out of here so fast. There'd be smoke coming out of my shoes.
You with the creatures of West Hollywood.
The Rainbow Room with all the old metalheads and the rockers.
I totally see you out there.
Yeah. Doing some hot yoga out there. Yeah.
I'd be in Malibu.
I get that. It's a little too far away from the action for me. But
I don't need to be the action.
I'll visit you.
I want to see the Pacific. I want the sun of the Pacific.
Yeah.
All right. But
enjoy your herbs. Go to Venice Beach. Look at the sights. It's great out there.
Yeah. I mean, like, in fairness, and the other aspect, and I know this is tough. I'm looking at the chat, but I know this is tough. Listen, guys, it's hard to work for the Eagles in Philadelphia. It is hard. I mean, Patullo's, what he did aside, take what that guy had to deal with, all right? He had to deal with an egging of his house, people throwing rocks, people ripping him every day. Like, it's hard. People were mocking him for complaining to what happened to Nick Foles to Foles, and it got out on the podcast. Listen, do you blame the guy? Like, imagine if you got kids and they got to go to school and they're of age and they hear what's going on and, like, this miserable existence.
No, those J.O. kids that egged his house, they did not help the situation at all. And I know it may seem like a little blip, but seriously, if you're considering a job and you know you were in first place, you won your division, and they egged your house, like that rings true.
But
who wants to deal with that?
Right, that's just indicative of the pressure, or it just illustrates
the fanaticism we have here.
Right, the pressure it is to win here.
Yes.
It's hard to work in Philadelphia.
They're chanting fire Patullo. I mean, yeah.
Like, honestly, it's a tough crowd. Like, there's the old Sinatra, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think it's more true about Philadelphia. Yeah. Like, if you can make it in Philadelphia, you can make it anywhere. Because there is no, like, the rest of the country is benign. Stages of benign compared to Philadelphia. And then you get LA, which is the Chargers, which don't even blip. Like, the Rams have cachet, right? The Dodgers have cachet out there. The Lakers have cachet. Other than that, like, nobody cares about the Chargers. I have friends out there, lots of them. Nobody nobody talks about the Chargers.
And it's like New York, Philadelphia. So last night, looking for something to do. I mean, you got a handful of things going on if I don't want to watch the Sixers. I go to New York. As a music guy, it's like 12 bands a night I want to see playing. LA, I go to the beach. Yeah, so we're a little rabid here. We have less options here.
Correct.
Sports over everything here, as we like to say at All City.
Yes. And it's a truism. And that's awesome. And I think I would be more inclined to want to play here if I was a player rather than a coach.
Certain kind of player.
I think it's harder to coach here than it is to play. Now, you're right. Like, I don't want to ask Alec Boehm about what he... How is he still here? I hated to hear it. Right, like, what do you say? Get me the bleep out of here.
Yeah, after his third error of the night.
Yeah. But, like, there is an innate pressure here that's nowhere else.
Yeah, and
Boston, I'm telling you, Philadelphia is bigger than Boston. So it's more of a pressure here than in Boston.
Yeah, people are like, it was only A's, toughen up. It's a minority group of fans that they don't represent the whole city, but it's the optics from outside.
So, guys.
When you see the optics outside.
So, guys, I completely get your point, all right? Like, we're together in this. Like, I'm part of the problem. Right.
I'm booing. I boo. Like, you don't even boo. I go down and boo.
I'm part of the problem in that I do a daily show, right? And we have no filter. Like, we operate on emotion. So I'm telling you, I'm with you in that, I can sit here and say toughen up, but you got to be able to put the shoes of that person on. Like, you got to think about Patullo, right? Just trust me on this. If I have children, which I got kids, and I go to a town, and I'm the OC, and forget about the egging, and yes, intellectually, and he handled it like a champ, but if you put that aside, every day my kids got to hear what an idiot I am. Is that healthy? No, but I'm asking the chat. Like, is that healthy?
Well, they're saying 3 coordinators under Sirianni got a head coaching job, and you're worried about eggs. That's what Joe 76 says.
So, Joe, think about this. I could come here, or do I go to LA? Because in LA, I got a quicker path to a job, I believe.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I believe. Two guys got jobs, Steichen and Kellen Moore.
And Gannon.
Oh, it's coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So, because I'm talking OCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens when your organization's success. Are they going to be able to stay at the top?
I would believe McDaniel thinks he can, but he's not a traditional grizzled, tough football guy. He's like a laid back dude. Like he doesn't need
that has anything to do with it.
He just doesn't need the possible static of
I don't
that.
think
He's got his bank. He's got his money.
I just think I laid it out for you. All right.
Yeah.
And the wife thinks a real deal. Like when you're grinding as a coach, and you're grinding 16-hour days, you know your partner in life is going to be like, "Hey, what about me?" So if you got family, you have to ease the burden of that. That's a big
plays
deal.
into it.
That's no joke.
So I think,
and I can't say the toughen up thing. I feel you, all right, and I'm built this. I'm wired the same way. But when you walk a mile in their shoes, it's hard.
See, Daboll feels perfect for here. Now Kingsbury, I remember that picture of him at the draft with his laptop during the pandemic. He's at his like Malibu house, or all glass. Like I don't know if he's ready for Philadelphia, and I think he knows that.
Yeah, I don't think it happens.
I like him. I like what he did in Washington.
Here. Not because of Philadelphia. I just don't know that he's going to jive with Nick. Like
that could be true.
I don't know. This kind of what my vibe is. Anyway, lots to get to. We'll get to it all.
Randy Rubart, it's literally -2 degrees today. Give me LA every day.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to keep it 100, we like to be honest here, right? Like, whatever. All right, lots to get to. We got to figure this thing out. All right, coming up, we'll talk to EJ. We'll get EJ's word on it. But first, let's talk about some of our friends. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. We'll talk to the brain a little bit to get a first read on the title games. Who do we like in the title games? Well, Bet Park's app has the live betting. There's no place better than live betting because you might see how a game goes. You might look and go, wow, look, Stidham is playing well. And then you jump in on the Broncos, right, against New England. Or you can look at it and go, man, he can't complete a pass. There's no way they're going to survive this game, and you lay it with the Patriots.
Dude, I got to tell you, this Broncos and Peyton, they're getting sneaky. It's -5. It's holding straight at -5, and 76% of the money's on New England.
Yeah, I think
Denver.
It's Denver. I think it's a Denver game. We'll talk to the brain about it. But you can bet on all of it. Hockey tonight, Flyers, Utah, all the hoops you want. And then baseball's around the corner. March Madness around the corner. So check out the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. You got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Every day, I stop and get my Wawa coffee. It's my favorite place. It's like 15 minutes where I see people, neighbors. Everybody's got a local Wawa. It's the way to start your day. It's also the way to fuel your day. How about this breakfast deal? The $5 big breakfast deal. Sizzly, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown for a Finsky. That's right. All that for $5. It's available every morning, 5 to 11 Eastern time, right? So during breakfast hours.
Yeah.
You can't beat it, all right? Again, you get any Sizzly, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, all for $5. Quick, easy, filling breakfast. Fits right into your morning routine. Limited time, available. Again, 5 to 11 every morning. You got to have Wawa. Wawa, our favorite. Now on the Xfinity mobile calling line, E.J. Smith. Good morning, EJ.
What's going on, guys? We got some. We matched today. I like that.
We look like brothers today. Look at that. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It look like cat burglars. We got creeping in windows tonight.
Yeah, we got some plans later on.
With
right?
no identifying markers on this T-shirt. If I need to report you to authorities, it's like, I don't know, he just had a plain black shirt on.
It's the Italian job. EJR
Yes,
is doing
right.
the Italian job. So we've been having this debate about McDaniel, and I'm curious about kind of how you see it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard what you said earlier. And what stood out to me is I think it depended on where you started this offseason at, on how you feel about the McDaniel news. Because you were kind of, I mean, listen, I got to give you your flowers. You were kind of ahead on the curve on these things, right? So for those of us who thought the Eagles offensive coordinator job was one of the more attractive ones, I think that it was maybe a sobering piece of news there, right? Because, obviously, my understanding is like the Eagles had a conversation with McDaniel. It wasn't a formal interview. So I think that it shows how many options McDaniel had, and the fact that maybe he didn't view this as the most attractive offensive coordinator opening out there. And I think it also kind of, leans into the constant debate about Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts. Now, I know where you stand on that, but for a lot of Eagles fans, I think that one is also sobering there. So I understand why Eagles fans are upset.
Well, no, I will say this. I don't think this is a slight on Jalen. I don't. I think it's more like you are worldly. You've been around the country, all right? You're close to this team. It's hard to work here and be an OC, right? Like Kevin Patullo had to deal with a lot of stuff. Like, forget about the job and what he did. Like, you got kids. It's a tough place to be, man. And then you got LA, where there's nobody cares about the Chargers. There's no pressure other than your internal pressure to win. You got a stable coaching staff with Harbaugh, and your wife's from there, and you got money. Like, if I got money, I mean, it's nice to live out in LA.
Sure, especially if you're coming from Miami. I wanted to say with the Herbert Hurts thing, all things are not equal. It's not as binary as which quarterback do you want to work with. But I do think like Herbert was a big selling point of that job with everything else. So I mean, it's getting a little bit less. The field is getting thinner for the Eagles in terms of the top candidates. Obviously, McDaniel was at the top of that list. I think Daboll is going to be really interesting, but I think he's getting a lot of interest for head coaching jobs. I don't know if that's a slam dunk. I don't know if that's something that the Eagles are going to be able to get done there. And then from there, I heard what you said. I agree. Mike Kafka, I like Jim Bob Cooter. Those are the names you're starting to talk about, and those aren't the names that we talked about at the beginning. So I get why Eagles fans are underwhelmed. It's not maybe going to be like the head coach of the offense that we expected it to be.
Yeah.
Jim Bob. Ugh. I don't know why I got such a sour taste in my mouth. It feels like a decade ago he was cool and interesting, and now it's like he's still around.
He really is kind of like Shane Steichen 2.0. Well, that's how the Eagles would want to view it. He is. It kind of reminds me of like the Frank Reich, Nick Sirianni thing, where it's you try to get a profile of coach that you've gotten in the past that worked.
Yeah, it doesn't excite me either. Daboll's the guy. Like to me, you could salvage this thing, and I would be very excited if Daboll was the OC. Now, again, to your point, he's linked to Buffalo. He's linked to these other jobs. I don't know. I do think he would work great with Jalen. I think Nick would respect him. I think he would have
him and Nick are interesting, though. I mean, just like McDaniel and Harbaugh, that's a fun combo, like of weird personalities. Like him and Nick both can fly off the handle. I said on our show, like maybe Daboll needs to call it from the booth. Maybe you put him in the coach's booth to keep him and Nick, give them a healthy separation. They can yell at each other on the headset, but they can't fight on the sideline.
That would be great to see them go this throw down fist fight. That would be Philadelphia. The two coaches fighting. Buddy Ryan did that with Kevin Galbraith. Go.
Even if you put him in
Gilbride.
Okay, yeah. Even if you put him in the booth, I could see Nick running into the tunnel saying, "Meet me in the locker room."
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Chug and duck offense. He punched him. He couldn't hold the ball. Get a first down.
Yeah, it would be wild, but I think Daboll's acumen. I like Daboll's acumen. I like I think Jalen would respect him. I think that they could work together well. I mean, I think you got to bring in somebody that could really work with Jalen, like, you know, that's smart. That's someone that, listen, if I'm Jalen, right, like, and he gets a lot of shrapnel, man. If I'm Hurts, I go, listen, I've got a million of these OCs, all right? Like, this system, that system, this guy, that guy. Just give me somebody that I know I can have confidence in. I don't think he had confidence last year in the offense.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment. You could tell by the way he talked about it throughout the season. You know, one of the quotes that stood out to me all year was when Jalen said, you know, that you can have all the same ingredients in the kitchen, but if it's a different chef, the meal's going to taste different. You know, that one, you know, held true throughout the season. So I know he's got a good relationship with Brian Daboll. I've written stories about it. You know, when Brian Daboll was in New York, how that year in Alabama, obviously it didn't go particularly well for Jalen at the end there, but it was an important year for Jalen's development into the player we see now, because it was really his first exposure to a pro-style system. And, you know, I talked to coaches who had been around Alabama who said that the following year is kind of when it clicked for him behind the scenes in practice. So, no, they have a healthy respect for each other, and I think that they probably you know, would work well together for that in that regard. And just the same way that Jalen kind of balances out Nick's fiery personality, him and Brian Daboll probably have something similar. So, no, I think it makes sense from a quarterback perspective. It's just a matter of if they can get him.
Yeah, because I don't know, I'm sure you heard the same thing, but I heard that, you know, they're definitely their number one.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especily with McDaniel off the board now. That's definitely, I mean, I'm a little surprised.
Are they talking today?
I believe it was yesterday, actually.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. The only other guy out there, I mean, I heard what you said about Cliff Kingsbury, so I'll take your word on that one. The other one is Joe Brady, to see what happens with him. But I think I saw he's interviewing for the Bills head coaching job, so he's going to be another guy that gets a lot of interest across the league.
Yeah, you got where are we at now? It's crazy, all the openings, right? So you got Bills, Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Arizona, Raiders. There's a lot of jobs left.
Yeah, they seem like they open up just as fast as they fill, right? So, no, I mean, it's going to be a lot of competition for some of these. I think Daboll makes sense because he's got relationships in the building. But again, if it's a head coaching opportunity, does he? I mean, he's going to give that first choice probably. So, yeah, no, I like I said, I think the Kafkas and the Jim Bob Cooters of the world, you know, you have to start to really take them as serious contenders for this job, depending on how things shake out the next couple of days.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't hate Kafka. I think Kafka is a smart dude. I you know, again, I don't think he's as sexy as McDaniel or Dable, but you know, I wouldn't be like despondent if it was Kafka.
Yeah, I actually heard good things about Josh Grizzard. You know, asking around about him. So, you know, just a name to keep in mind there too. You know, in case it is somebody out of left field, because at some point, having someone with play calling experience, like for the sake of it, isn't actually beneficial anymore. You know, we talked a lot about how important that is, but at some point, you know, the ceiling gets low enough where you maybe do want to take a swing on, you know, somebody who hasn't had as much experience that you're really confident can figure it out. It's more of a risk, but I think that we're getting into that tier of coordinator candidate where you're going to have risk anyway.
The only problem with that is that I think they need I think they need a division head, if that makes any sense,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You need a vice president. I need a VP of offense, right? I mean, like, I think there's some good, young, talented people, but they're not in a position to have another young, inexperienced voice come in with Jalen, no matter how smart he is. I mean, I think you got to go to Jalen and go, like, I need somebody that Jalen's going to respect right off the bat and go, I believe in this.
Yeah, that is, so the relationship part of it's important there, because I think you could get a young guy in, and if it's the right young guy, if it's the right person who, you know, can command a room, even if, you know, like, I mean, if we're talking, if Nate Scheelhaus ends up being the next Sean McVay, right, or, you know, Charlie Weiss Jr., then that guy will walk in and command the room anyway, even if he is young. But with Jalen, it does seem like that, that experience with somebody, that relationship is really important. So no, it's a fair point. If you're not going to have that, you want somebody who can command the room anyway.
The other unknown, and this plays in the part, I think, with McDaniel and everybody else is, all right, like, what's the offense going to look like? Like, it's not like last year, you go, all right, I got all these pieces. All right, so what do we got? I got A.J. Brown as a huge question mark, and I got Lane Johnson as a huge question mark. I have to worry about pieces of the line. I got to worry about what the receiving core is going to look like beyond Devontae.
No, I mean, it's a lot. I like Lane and AJ. The Eagles' record without those two guys is significantly worse. They're game-changing players, and I think that both are very much in question going into the offseason. Probably AJ more than Lane, but still, I mean, there's a real chance that the Eagles have to rebuild without each of those guys. So that's another reason why, like, maybe when we were talking about whether this is an attractive job, like, that is something that these OC candidates are going to have to figure out, is what is the team going to look like? I'm sure that's one of the first questions that these guys ask is, what's going to happen with AJ Brown? Does he want to be here? Is he a part of this group that I'm going to be coaching? I mean, wouldn't that be one of your first questions if you were interviewing for that job? So, no, I mean, I think that the fact that it's Howie, balances that out. That you're going to have a GM that's going to put resources into getting the offense back to a place where you have a lot of talent to work with. But no, those are big. I mean, they're huge question marks. Two of the most important players on offense are still uncertain going into next year.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, I got a bigger question. How hard is it? And we touched on this with earlier, VG and I, and a little bit with you with Petullo. But how hard is it to work here? Yeah. Like, let's examine this for a second, because I think it's a fascinating conversation about the immense pressure. And it's probably one of the most underrated stories. Like, I've been toying with this book idea for a long time about sports built churches, but there's also a dark side to it, right? Which is in Philly, like in Philadelphia, where we love this passion, we love sports. There is the beauty of it, and then there's the inner beast, and the inner beast, and it's not just about egging somebody's house.
Sure, yeah.
It's just the daily pressure that's applied all the time, and I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's an intensity about the town that you're right. It's the price that you pay for how passionate the fans are. It's a price that you pay for like the energy at the link. And really, I honestly think you can attribute a lot of the success of the organization to the fact that the fan base is so intense and so passionate. But also, like, the thing that always jumps out to me is like some of the draft picks that haven't worked out here. BG has talked about this a lot. The scrutiny that you're under if you're a struggling draft pick in this town, if you're a Jalen Reagor or a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I mean, it is tough. It is a really, really tough, it's tough conditions to overcome. You have to be like a really, really, really like, 1 in a million type of human like Brandon Graham to overcome something like that, right? And we see it with the coaches. Obviously, like the egging thing, like you mentioned with Petullo, like I saw how much that affected him in that press conference, and I don't think he was trying to like necessarily hide it. I think it did really shake him and his family, and understandably so. But even still, all season with Kevin Petullo, you could feel that scrutiny, that pressure, and it's a real thing. I mean, Jalen handles it. I think Jalen deals with it too. Obviously Nick deals with it. These guys, they try to insulate themselves from it, but like I've heard stories from coaches, like you go to like the deli, or you go to go get go out somewhere with your kids, and all of a sudden you're hearing something from fans. So no, there's a price to it, to the intensity here for sure, and it affects the whole building. I wouldn't say it's a negative or a net negative, but no, it's a real thing. And if you're a candidate, you do have to weigh that.
Yeah, it's interesting because, listen, we're so nuts, and we love it, and sometimes things are said or done by youth or by like just trying to be funny, and it's not meant to be mean or truly harmful, but it kind of is. Like, throughout the years, I mean, I've seen things and heard things and watched things play out. And, I know people are just, especially now with social media, because you're trying to get clicks. And, think about the legion of media, right, that cover the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then think about, what happens in the digital space, right? Like, you just got, everybody's got a podcast about them. Everybody's talking about it. Like, you go to the Eagles Reddit or Twitter, I mean, it's just nonstop.
Yeah, the one thing I always say is, like, if you go into a post-game locker room for a player that's struggling, Keely Ringo, let's say, like, the way that Keely Ringo played toward the end of the season there, the worst thing you can see from, like, a human element, if you're an Eagles fan, the one thing you don't want to see, or hear about when I walk into that locker room is that player sitting and looking at their phone, because that means that they are just like, they've gone down that rabbit hole. They've gone down that path where they are just reading all of the hate that's getting sent their way. And, it's, again, we both are saying, like, we understand fans are passionate. We understand that fans, they care so deeply about the team that it drives them to do stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, I've talked to guys. Jordan Mailata said it at the end of the season, like, he downloaded Twitter back onto his phone and was just like, whoa, like, what is going on here? He's listening to, podcasts and radio, hits about the Eagles. And he's just like, I can't believe the conversation that's going on around this team. So these guys aren't immune to it. These guys understand it. But, I think that you have to, like, if it were somebody that I was friends with or one of my relatives on the team, I'd say you have to do everything you can to block that out, because, it doesn't do them any good while they're living it to hear about how much anger it's causing. You kind of do need to make sure you have your blinders on for that stuff.
Remember the guy who caught the baby out of the burning building?
Unlike Aguilar, yes, right? Yes.
And he's like, I didn't drop it like Aguilar. Like, think about that moment for 1 second, right? Like,
yeah,
here's a guy who does this heroic act, right, that gets played across the world, right? Like, catching a baby out of a building. Like, it's amazing. And his first words were like, I didn't drop it like Aguilar, which is unbelievable and hysterical. But if you're Nelson Aguilar, who wound up having an okay career when he went up to New England and all, right? You got to go, oh, my God, bro, I got to get out of that place. What the frick? Like, guy's doing hero work, and I'm getting shade.
It's funny you mentioned Nelson Aguilar, because I remember I wrote a story about him in 2019 where, he had, like, fielded questions for, like, 10 minutes and tried to say all the right things. No one cares. They all understand it's a production business. But then at the end, he just, like, he just kind of, like, broke down, It was just like, it was almost like he was just venting. I don't want to, like, directly quote what he said there, but I just remember, like, that was like a raw, like, emotional reaction to, like, he had to hold it in because he knew it wasn't going to benefit him to really let it out, with the cameras there and with everybody recording. But no, he was another one that it really affected, and understandably so. So no, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I always say that, like, the draft pick thing, I don't think, I don't think that you can blame fans for it, but I do just think that the intensity, some of, like, the historic draft pick, like the busts across all the sports, I think a lot of it can be traced to, this is an intense place to play. You have to be built for it.
Well, we just had BG, who's, like, the most beloved. And he had said he has to get off social media for a time when things aren't going great with the team. And no one's ever attacking BG. So if you're not playing well.
And BG had to get here. Like,
yeah.
Like, I love BG. I love Brandon, right? Like, good friend, all right? When he first got here, I didn't want him. I wanted
safety. Right?
I wanted
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas, right?
Yeah.
And it's up until, and he struggled early, BG. I wanted Earl Thomas. Again, it was nothing against BG, but it was like, I wanted Earl Thomas, I wanted the safety.
Right.
We had lost Dawkins. I thought, whatever. And here, BG winds up playing twice as long as Earl Thomas, right? But he had to deal with that. And it had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
It had to do with we didn't pick. Same thing with Donovan and Ricky Williams.
Donovan never got over it.
No.
Never.
That was a tough. And it's hard. And it's not the town's fault. It's just what it is.
It's just who we are.
We love, it's our thing.
Yeah.
So it's just, if it's our thing, it's going to be our thing. It's
Yeah, and some guys embrace it. Some guys, thrive in it. And then there are guys like Jalen who kind of just shut it out. And I think both of those approaches work. But yeah, not everybody's built for that. So I think BG, especially midway through his career, once he started unblocking people, that is really when he embraced it. And you see, once you embrace it, you could become a legend. I think that's the other thing that we should acknowledge while we're talking about this is once these guys retire, man, Jason Kelsey's of the world, the BGs of the world, you become, you get to a legend status really quickly, and you become, it's there's an appreciation that you made it through all that.
Let me ask you this,
but you got to go through the muck.
A point made in the chat from Eden the Remix 1011. The point is, where is the accountability for a Sirianni who keeps getting his assistants fired by running his offense?
Yeah, I mean, if Nick were sitting here, he'd say he had two guys go get head coaching jobs too. So, there's been a roller coaster there, and I do think that Nick, plays a major role in that roller coaster. But I don't know. I think that with Patullo in particular, because Brian Johnson, I actually think Brian Johnson gets unfairly lumped into this a little bit because the Eagles offense was bad that year, but the Eagles offense was not the problem. It wasn't the thing that dragged the team down. The defense was terrible that season. With Patullo, I really do think it just came down to a feel for calling games that really let them down. They'd have those opening scripts that, they were productive with, but really it was the second half of games where they struggled so much. So I don't know how much you can really attribute that to Nick. I think that really is just kind of the nature of Patullo being a first-time play caller and really struggling with calling those games as they progressed.
It's funny, Brian. I liked Brian.
Yeah.
When Brian was at Florida, I thought Brian was one of those. In fact, that year he was at Florida, Spags was interviewing, and he's like, dude, we were just talking, and he's like, who do you give me some ideas for OC guys? I'm looking for, and I gave him a list of guys, and one of the guys was Brian Johnson.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was considered an up and coming coach. The Eagles, they were excited to be able to bring him in especially with the relationship he had with Jalen. He's one of those guys where he'll probably get another opportunity in a couple of years. It wasn't great that season by any stretch of the imagination, but their offense was not nearly as bad as it was this year.
No, their defense was a bigger problem, you could argue.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was turnovers in 23. Jalen has said it was more than that. It's a little reductive to just say it was turnovers, but turnovers were a big part of it. They were not as, just completely unproductive the way that they were this year.
EJ, always a great conversation, buddy. Always.
No, this has been fun. Yeah, no, I'm excited. You guys got me excited. Now I'm ready to go. I just wish it was 2:00.
I know.
We can just keep the conversation going.
Yeah, in fact, I think it'd be fun, man. I love the conversation. Like I said, I think I might do something bigger from a big picture standpoint.
This is an interesting topic. I mean, you have to be careful in how you parse it because it is, I think, a net positive, like you said. Sports builds churches, especially here. But no, I think there's a balance to that we don't always get into.
Well, it's to me, I see welcome to heaven and hell.
Feels like hell sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
it's got the universe all wrapped into one. It's the struggle of man wrapped up into one using sports in this town.
Absolutely.
So it's got these bigger elements to it. I got to get out of my head.
I'll read that book. Yeah. Off season coming up.
Focus on the heist. You guys have a window between 11 and 2 to get this heist completed.
Right. We got the heist. We're meeting up. The Italian Job, part 2. All right?
I was going to say, it's going to be like the town. We got to put the masks on.
Yeah. We're going to hit the Barnes Foundation. Love you, buddy. Thanks.
All right, guys. Yeah.
See you too. Here he is, E.J. Smith.
Big market for that impression to start.
I mean, you know,
I got a couple
pieces. I can move to Italy.
Through the Vatican accountant can move them for you.
All right, let's take a moment and hear from our friends.
Starting off the new year, I'm going to optimize me because I'm going to start taking Mars Men. Why? Because I've been feeling sluggish and the 40s isn't hitting the same way as my 30s did. And Mars Men gives you the same benefits of optimized testosterone, energy, strength, and focus without shutting down your body. No synthetics, no needles, no dependency. It's like hitting that reset button on the hormone factory instead of shutting it down. And the best part, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to you. Worst case, you don't love it, you get your money back. But 91% of users keep using it and keep those high energy levels. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's the perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out.
Let's talk about my friends from Xfinity. I love my Xfinity. What if I could tell you, what if I said to you, you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi, and what if I told you keep the price the same for 5 years? That's right, the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. That's my problem, all right? I got 2 kids, I got my wife, all right, and I need no interruptions. That's why I love my Xfinity. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable. Lock in your price and unlock possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. All right, let's tap into the mind of a great sportsman. Brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app and Parks Casino. Let's say hello to the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain, Feinberg.
I can't imagine.
I
Gary is the great sportsman that he is.
What the heck happened there? How are you?
What's up, brother? Hey, listen, before we get started on the sports, VT's got a concert question for you.
I saw a footage, a little clip of you at ABBA. And you are the only person sitting down. You don't stand at concerts, Brad? Are you injured? What's going on?
Well,
you checking lines?
First of all, it wasn't a true concert. That would be a little disingenuous. You'd be like, if you went to like your kid's Pee Wee football game, saying I went to an NFL game. I mean, it was not a concert. All right, it was a tribute.
It's an ABBA tribute band.
Yeah, singing some ABBA songs, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, we left halfway
I would
through.
Brain.
Also, Brain, you need to fill me on this world. I was consumed with Netflix's members only Palm Beach reality documentary series. This lifestyle down
I didn't check it out. Is it good? Is it good?
It's a little wild. It follows 5 lady socialites. It's a lot down there. A lot of pressure.
That's my
to get
kind
up
of
in the ranking system of not West Palm Beach, because they look down on the West Palmers on Palm Beach.
I mean, looking at I'm a socialite.
I know your better half's a socialite.
I try to be social. I'm certainly not light, but I'm not a socialite. but I mean, that's just not my world. But
There's a lot of pressure down there.
This is
Think
why
myself
Like
a
women
note,
can't
VG.
show their cleavage and their knees at the same time.
Wait,
You
VG,
can't
what's the
talk
show
loudly
called?
in
What-
public.
Can I just tell you? This
Wait,
is
VG,
why
what's the show
I
called? I'm setting
love
myself
this
a note.
dude.
I'm gonna watch it with the missus. What's the show called?
It's called Members Only Palm Beach. It's on Netflix. It's like 8 episodes. Hey, and interestingly enough, they follow 5 women around. 4 of them have Philadelphia ties. They were either born here, raised
That's
here, or got their
funny.
businesses going, and then moved down there.
Yeah, she was asked to do a couple of things like that, but she hasn't done them. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
keep
But
her keep her
I'll
out
take
of
a
that.
look at it. I want to look at it. Yeah, that's not
That's not you.
that's not up my alley. But I'm gonna take a look at it.
This is why I just adore you, man. I love you. You are the most simple, honest, so not showy. Like
You're right.
you just love. Like, he just loves sports. Like he's just a great dude who loves sports.
I've been out there.
He has no interest in any of the nonsense. He's not. He's really good at what he does, and he's not at all showy. He's like, dude, you're an ace, man.
I'm Fred Flintstone. I'm a modern day Fred Flintstone. I
We
put
went
my hat
to
on.
lunch down there, Brad. What did we get? Did we get caviar? Nah, we got some pizza and
Heck
Coke.
no.
Pizza and Coke or Pepsi. That was it.
Exactly.
I mean, you
come on,
inhaled the
VG.
slices
Again,
of pizza, but yeah.
Well, that's good.
Exactly. I'm basic, but look, I am who I am. I don't fake it.
So we're down. I want to cry. We're down to 3 football games left in the season. The 2 we have coming up are the championship games. How are you looking at them? How are you looking at
Anthony, I got to ask both of you guys. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize, but Anthony, we haven't spoke, and I got to ask both of you guys. I'm gonna make a comment here, and I want you to actually think about it. Don't just give me a quick yes or no. You guys have all been watching sports around the same amount of time, give or take. Okay. I have a statement here for you, and I want you to think. You say I'm way off, or you're like, you actually may be right, because I actually did think about it. I'm a loser. I spent time thinking about it. In the history of sports, so you literally have basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, whatever sport you want. I thought CJ Stroud's performance was the worst of any athlete, any sport. Markel Fultz on his worst day. I have never seen an athlete. If Anthony Gargano or Brad Feinberg or VG was playing quarterback for the Texans and we handed the ball 37 straight times like Michigan did against Penn State in the second half of that game a few years ago, I truly believe the score of that game would have been closer than a 12-point deficit. Their defense played so well, Houston. They couldn't get a first down, the Patriots. CJ Stroud, I've never seen any athlete, and we always talk about that deer in the headlight look. I had one of my biggest bets on the Texans. I saw that look and that first pass when no one was within 12 yards of the guy, and he threw a pass that wasn't within 15 yards. I'm like, oh my God. I thought that was the worst performance. Forget big game, Anthony, BG. I thought it was the worst performance. Nathan Peterman, I was the only guy I came up with when he threw like 7 interceptions in the first half of a game.
Brad,
It was the only game I could ever think of.
listen to this, Brad. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen this, but his quarterback rating for the day was a 28. If he had spiked the ball on every play, it would have been a 39.6. Because there's no interceptions.
Well, that's
on the
kind of
spiked
saying
balls.
something. That's kind of so it's agreeing with what I said.
Yes.
If the 3 of us were playing quarterback,
Yes.
it would have gone better for them.
Yes.
And the one thing is, and Anthony, me and you, I know have defended the kid. I'm going to tell you something. I got in a big argument with my buddy. I'm like, he's like, they're never going to do it. He was right. I knew they weren't going to do it. I said, feelings. I go, there's a 0% chance this guy's coming out for the second half. I go, I'm trying to get to the Super Bowl. I can't worry about this guy's feel. No, I'm not. I'm being serious. I can't worry about his feelings. On that day, even the last play of the game, if you guys saw it, I don't know if you saw the last play when they're down 28-16, there was a receiver who was open by, I swear to you, 8 yards, and he was at the midfield. And all he had to do was throw I know it's a 50-yard pass, 40-yard pass, but no one was within 8 yards of the guy. He underthrew him by 10 yards. So it allowed the defender to come up and make it a 50 ball. I have never seen. I want you to tell me any athlete you've seen play that bad in the game.
I mean,
I haven't.
maybe Brad Gable, who is the 4th string
Brad
guy.
Gable, yeah. Brad Gable was really bad, but I don't know if they gave him a chance to be that bad. Where he
Right.
threw the ball 50 times.
Yeah.
He could have
No,
had 8
dude,
interceptions.
I hear you. He was just horrific. I was funny. Pat, I was going back and forth with Pat McClune, and Pat was like, they got to get him out of here. Halftime, same thing.
Yeah.
Got to get him out. Got to get him out. I'm like,
They had to
they're
get him
not gonna-
out of
They're
there.
not going to make a change.
They're not going to do it, but I knew they weren't going to do it, Anthony. Those are different. With administration, because to me, you're a good combination of being level-headed and also saying we got to win this game. Like you're a good combination of long-term, short-term. And I know you like the kid, and I've liked them too, even though we went to Ohio State. But what would you have done?
Yeah, I probably would have lifted him somewhere in the third quarter. Right? Like,
And
I
just said,
probably would have gave him a shot to come out of halftime. Like, calm him down, give him a
Right. He
shot,
just
try to
couldn't do
get.
it.
Because if you remember that first drive of the second half,
They moved the ball down the field.
Yes.
Yeah, they got the 7-yard line or 6-yard line.
And then somebody fumbled. It wasn't him. It was somebody else that fumbled.
You know, there was another fumble. Yeah, there was not the kid Marks fumbled.
Right.
Look, that was just I will say this: they did a great job on New England's offense. I mean, I was so impressed with their defense. My God, is their defense good?
Well, the Texans O line was horrible. I mean,
Atrocious.
just bad. Like that, the one alibi that Stroud has, and it's not a full alibi, but he had just no time, no protect. Like his hand got hit 3 different times on throws.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that, Anthony. But I feel like if he just played a bad game,
Yeah,
they would have won the game.
and the problem is
I
that
thought
was
he was.
2
I
bad
thought he made it
games in a
impossible
row.
for them to win.
You know, like the Texans should be in the Super Bowl, man. They should.
That's what I
Any
think.
kind of quarterback play you get, right? Like because guys were open, like
Anthony, that was a lost opportunity.
Yeah,
That
it was. It
a
was.
true loss.
I agree.
Now they had some bad luck. They lose Schultz early.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nico didn't play, but
Yeah, Schultz killed them
Man.
too. Like
Anyway, sorry
he's
for that
their
rant.
he's their safety blanket. Losing Schultz hurt.
yeah, for sure it hurt him. And then in the first drive, Kirk dropped an easy ball. That was the one pass
Yeah.
he threw that was okay. But I just had to go off on that tangent because I just couldn't believe how bad he was.
They lost the game 7 ways from Sunday, literally on Sunday. It was horrible.
Yeah.
That said,
Yeah.
why do I feel like Jared Stidham is going to play well Sunday?
Anthony, I got to tell you something. First of all, again, I do have to say I feel so bad for Josh Allen. Like that actually just hurt me. And I seeing his press conference, it's exactly who I think Josh Allen is. Really made me feel bad. On the side note, I really like that guy. Denver got really fortunate to win that game. But when did Bo Nix become as good as Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? Tell me when it became, because I didn't know he was until I saw the line in the game. Because they're saying he's about a 5-point difference from Bo Nix to Jared Stidham. Give me Jared Stidham plus 5-7 days out of the week. I absolutely like Denver very much in this game. I don't get the line. Who is Bo Nix? You're going to take this wherever you want. To me, his comp is Jalen Hurts. You can take that however you want to take it. That's to me is exactly who he is. He's a fine quarterback, but he's a passenger. He's not.
I mean,
Josh
I
Allen,
take
he's not Patrick
Jalen.
Mahomes.
Yeah, I think you're
100.
slighting Jalen a little bit
I
here.
would take Jalen 100 times over Bo Nix.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But
yeah, I mean, and maybe, but I don't think he's.
I get your point
in
about
that
Nix.
class.
Like, I actually think Stidham, who's mobile, I think Peyton will have him ready to play.
Anthony, I argued with my buddy. I go, maybe to me. I go, I ranked when I did my rankings, I think I had Bo Nix around 20th best quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, he's not horrible and he can win. He's mobile. I'll give him that. He's mobile and he can make some plays. He's clutch. That's why I say he's a little like Jalen. He makes some plays in the big moments. They've won a lot of close games, like Caleb Williams. They won a lot of close games they should have lost, this team. But I don't think Stidham to him is. It wouldn't shock me. I'll put it this way: in my own head, it's maybe 62-38 Bo Nix. Like I don't think it's like some like blowout. And I don't think this is like Armageddon where like their season's over at all. I think they could easily win this game.
Yeah, we see it the same way.
I bet them big with the points. So
Yeah.
it's a natural hedge for me because I have New England a very big ticket to win the Super Bowl, win the AFC. So for me, if I'm wrong on this, it's not even going to hurt me because I actually want New England to win. But I don't get this line. I think this line will keep going lower. Every pro I know is on the
So your
Denver
best,
side.
your home run day is if Denver covers and New England wins.
If Denver wins between 1 and 5, that'll be an exceptional day for me. If Denver loses between 1 and 5, exceptional.
All right, in
I
the
don't use that word
rematch, in the third,
Yeah.
in the rubber game, I like
Yeah.
the Rams, and I think the Rams come out. I love the Rams in this game, actually.
You know, Anthony, I got to tell you, first of all, when you're watching that game live, because I'm watching the game, I'm in the Bahamas, and I'm watching Caleb on 4th and 20 or whatever it was, and I said to myself, this has been the luckiest team all year, and I hate the Bears. I can't stand them because I don't like lucky teams, and I'm like, I go, if this guy like throws some Hail Mary, I'm just going to walk out the building. I'm never going to watch football again. So I watch him go back. I'm saying this in live action to my wife. I'm like, just this team's been so lucky all year. If this guy I literally said if he goes backwards and throws like a 50-yard Hail Mary, I'm done watching sports. So I'm watching him go back, runs backwards, throws this lucky Hail Mary, and I'm like, this is the luckiest team who's ever lived, this Bears team. But listen, and let me ask you guys a question.
That's a little better pass than a Hail Mary.
That was he literally ran backwards,
I
closed
saw
his
it.
eyes.
I saw
threw
it
the ball
not from the
50 yards,
Bahamas,
and-
but I saw it.
Let me ask you guys two things that no one talked about. If Sean McVay's name is Kevin Patullo, okay? I'm not sure. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Sean, he treated Matt Stafford like he was CJ Stroud on Sunday.
So it's funny. I brought this up to you were by Baldy yesterday, or somebody. It was we had he in overtime. He ran the ball the first the whole possession, and they had a punt. Like, are you out of your mind? And if I got one beef with McVay is he gets ultra conservative. You got to push the ball down the field. When you have Matt Stafford and Puka and Devontae and an array of tight ends, you got to throw the ball. I don't know what he always does that. He always does the game because of it.
Anthony, he always does it. You're right, and because of his name. See, it's funny. So much in life is just sometimes just your what's the word I'm looking for? The way you're thought of. And he's thought of as boy wonder. And I'm not saying he's not a great coach. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is if that was almost if Nick Sirianni did that with that team or whatever, a coach that wasn't beloved the way he is, that coach would be eviscerated. And I mean eviscerated.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, Anthony, when you just go run, I'm like, why don't you just punt the ball? Because you gave the Bears a chance. All you need is one first down, the game's over. You have the NFL MVP. Why are you afraid to pass the ball? I don't get it. There's enough time for the Bears to score. That infuriated me. And the other thing is, no one's talked about this. The game goes to overtime, Anthony. The Bears win the toss. No one's talked about this. This I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Bears win the toss. So they get to decide, they get the ball first, or they get the ball second. Now, the way the overtime rules work, everyone, is both teams get a chance to get the ball once, okay, unless it's a defensive touchdown. But if let's say both teams kick a field goal once, or both teams get a touchdown once, or
you have the advantage. You have the advantage.
So you want to get the ball first,
dude.
You want the ball first.
I don't understand, and I talk about it all the time. I don't get these dudes that don't take the football first. It's the most absurd thing.
Hold on.
It makes no sense to me. Like,
you got to know the known, man. You got to know what you need.
It's dumb. It's not like college football. In college football, where you get a shot every time, I'll take it second. But
yes,
in the NFL, I want the ball. Like, in the regular season, there's not enough time for 4 possessions, so I want the ball. And in the postseason, and in this thing, I want the football because I'm assured No matter what, unless I don't score and they come down, I'm going to get the third possession, and that's going to be the right
Exactly.
possession.
It's not, Anthony, it's not a trick question. That's what's amazing is you're saying it, you're not getting paid $12 million a year like Ben Johnson is. You should be because he should have hired you because they'd maybe be in the NFC Championship game if Anthony Oregon was on the sideline telling them the most simple thing.
Take the ball.
No one mentioned it. The announcers didn't say anything.
No, they're afraid. Not afraid, but they're all like,
not, Anthony, this isn't
they
hard.
hear analytics and they get paralyzed.
I always say,
But even
who's
the
checking
analytics
the
don't
freaking
make
analytics?
sense. It's not analytics.
Who's checking the analytics? Who's checking the analytics? When it's 4th and 3, your own 27-yard line, Ben Johnson's going for it. The analytics say it's only a 50-50 move. Okay. It's just.
I agree with you, buddy. I don't get it.
Well, here, quick AI. The team that wins the toss and takes the ball first wins roughly 53 to 64% of the time. That's a pretty margin error, but we're over 50% of the time.
But,
yeah, I mean, it's not an
It was
opinion.
0-2 this weekend, or 0-2 in the playoffs. The
it's
guys
not an
that
opinion.
deferred lost both times.
But it's so stupid. I always say, show your work. What are you possibly?
No, I
It's
agree.
just so dumb.
It's dumb.
So it hurts me. Anyway, this game, Anthony, I thought the line deserved to be 2. The line opened at 3. I obviously bet the Rams. It was a no-brainer. Not in a. I mean, that line I knew would not hold. It didn't. It's down to 2.5, which is to me what it should have been. Now I will say this: that last they played twice. It was, and both games were the exact polar opposite. First game, Seattle. Actually, you know what? Sam Darnold had a C.J. Stroud performance in game 1.
Yeah, he did.
And that game.
But the defense
they
kept them in the
outplayed
game.
Rams.
Yeah.
They really outplayed the Rams, and they lost because of Darnold's second game was a miracle. That was miracle on the Meadowlands. Like, even without Devontae Adams, Seattle whipped them. Miracle win for Seattle. I think this game will be extremely tight. I think it's going to be extremely close. I just can't stop. A part of me is like, I want to pick Seattle. I've been on Seattle all year, but I just can't stop thinking about that last game they played where Stafford just relatively carved them up easily. Without Devontae, he completed every pass. He made it look easy. They lost by a fluke. Like the Rams and teasers, certainly not. To me, right now it's Rams or Pat, but for me, the nuts was the Rams getting 3. Because if Seattle wins, it's going to be hard for them to win by margin, in my opinion. Lean here, Rams, but not a game I'm going to bet it once it dip below 3.
Yeah, I'm with you, pal. All right, brother. We will reconvene later in the week. We love you, buddy. Thanks,
Appreciate both you guys.
See you,
Be
pal.
good, guys.
He's so right about that. So right. So right.
You've been pounding that over.
I've been pounding about it. Like, come on, dude. What are we doing here? Take the ball? You guys are crazy. I don't even understand what goes through your mind. It's nuts. All right. Let's hear a word from our friends and sponsors. Here we go. Let's talk about the bet. Here we go. The Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Join me to get some skin in the game, right? Touchdown scores, individual player performances, passing, rushing. The Bet Parks app has a great offer for new users for the new year. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours, plus an additional $50 casino bonus on Triple Cash Eruption, the hot slot game that VG loves. BetPark's the only app I'll recommend to bet on the classic casino games like blackjack, craps, and roulette. Hot online slots that VG loves. What's your favorite slot?
I did Cash Eruption last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. How about Cleopatra? It's your girl.
That is my girl.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Nice is nice.
Yeah.
I like when she says that.
You check it out, man. It's got it all. A lot of fun. Going to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan. BetParks.com has all the details. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. It is the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. Look, you want Jalen Carter out catching passes? No. All right? Come on now. Not worth the risk, the time, the money. Keep your stars focused on doing what they do best. Same goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, tedious, time-consuming, redundant activities that wear them down. Togo can help any business look to reduce operating costs, from customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, even complex multi-step operational processes. We take it off your plate. Every Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, they turn your playbook into performance. You call the plays, we execute. HarnessTogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, stay focused on winning. All right. Now, let's talk some hoop.
Let's do it. Some hardwood.
I want to talk some hoop, baby.
Some sneakers squeaking.
Last night, man, that was a tough one, man. I was like, I want to give him 2 wins.
I'm out on these back-to-back games. Can we just stop them? The quality trails off on the second game.
Oh, I mean, I you know.
And don't the Sixers have more back-to-backs than anyone this year?
Yeah,
It's really sticking it to them.
They have a lot.
It just felt like, man.
I know. It was a shame. And like I wanted to, my storybook was Tyrese wakes up as a starter and then drops 40.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how I was hoping. VJ played well though, man. That VJ's what a stud. Anyway, joining us from the all PHLY Sixes, one of my favorites, one of my best buddies on the Xfinity mobile call-in line, Devon Givens. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I thought the same thing, and I was like, okay, Tyrese is having a tough little start here. He's pacing himself, and then in the fourth quarter, you guys keep this one close, and I'll end it. And unfortunately, the night was a tough one for him. That 7 for 25. But you're right. It was as you guys said, that was a tough loss last night. Only 6 points.
Yeah, I was I just had the script in my head. I was like, I could just see Tyrese going off and doing it. Even when he struggled early, didn't score in the first quarter. I'm like, you watch, he'll wind up with 30 and win the game.
Yeah, because we've seen it already this year where, yeah, he's had better shooting nights, but it's just a moment where he says, okay, it's time for me to turn that key and let me get 11 points here in this final 5 minutes, hit a couple of threes and a steal or 2 here, and we win by 5. Let's go home, and we'll see you on Thursday. But defense in the third quarter wasn't good enough, and Maxey just could not find that shot. It wasn't just the threes. He couldn't. His runners, his floaters,
nothing fell.
Layup package. Yeah, there was a lid on the basket last night, and they got off to that 13-2 start after being down 5 at halftime. Got off to that 13-2 start in the third quarter. Felt like okay, they're going to give themselves a little bit of a cushion, so when the Suns do make their run, that's when Maxey does the whole thing, and it just did not play itself out. The script was not written that way last night, Ant.
No,
it's such an emotional day for him with the All-Star starter, and then he's got New Balance announces he's going to have a signature shoe, and back-to-back nights. It was a rough spot for Tyrese.
It was.
I
love
because
that
look,
kid, man.
When it was announced, right, VJ, it's announced the day before. He goes out and he has that 29, 8-8, and they win. And he plays a big amount of minutes, of course, in that one against the Indiana Pacers. But to come back on the second night, just couldn't muster it up. And it's great for him to get the signature shoe. There are not a ton of 400 plus players in the league, and there are only a handful of guys, 2 handfuls of guys that have signature shoes in the league. So that's a big deal. And to have to do that on the second night without Joel or Paul George on the floor, it was asking a lot. Now, you got the 25 and you got 21 from Kelly Oubre, 25 from Edgecombe, 21 from Oubre. You would have hoped that Maxey could have gotten that high 20s, low 30s to close that close game out. But as you pointed out, not trying to make excuses. He was not good last night. It was an emotional day.
Do you worry about his minutes catching up to him as the season goes on?
I do. He's one that sometimes you look at and say he never gets tired, but he is still human. In the end, when you're first in the NBA in minutes played and there's so much on you, and it changes because one day it's him, Edgecombe, and George. Another day it's him, Edgecombe, George, and Embiid. And then you have nights where it's just the 2 of them. And good to have Oubre back, but it's just the 2 of them. So there's a lot on him, on his plate, the workload. And then with his defensive acumen picking up as well, where we see him playing the passing lanes as he does. He's competed much better this year on the defensive end. It's been something that he has had a main focus on coming into this year, and we can see that. He's still not the best defender, but when you look at him and he has improved defensively, you can only ask for so much. So I do see that catching up to him, and I know he's going to be at the All-Star game, but once that break does hit, I'm sure he's going to put the basketball down for a few days and just try to rest it and not do too much.
All right, couple things to unpack. One, how come George didn't play last night?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, of course, on the injury report, they had him down for a little bit more of that management, but I just felt like it was going to be on the back-to-back situation. Joel plays night one, George plays night two, where we've seen that pattern already. So I was a little disappointed that he didn't play last night to give Tyrese Maxey that other release valve out there on the floor, both ball handling, scoring,
I know.
and what they do defensively. So I was disappointed that he did not play last night. I don't know outside of what they said and what the injury report points out. So let's see if he plays on Thursday night with Houston in town.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out by that. I was like, yo, dude.
I was. Yeah.
I'm expecting you to play, and I need his defense in there. Devon, I was a little shook, and not like, terribly, but it was a little sobering losing the way they did to Cleveland, right? Like back-to-back games. And, I keep trying to figure out in my head how they overcome their lack of defense, right? And to be a real contender and to make a run. How does that happen?
Well, I think part of it is, number one, the point of attack defense needs to be a little bit better. They have the personnel. When you look at George, Oubre, Edgecombe, you start right there, and what Maxey is going to play his 30-plus minutes is going to do, almost close to 40, that you have decent enough guys with speed, good enough hands, where that should not be a problem. But it has been a problem too many times. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad. They have to tighten up on that. Secondly, too many points in the paint. So once things happen at the point of attack where they do not slow them down, it's a layup drill on this basketball team.
But that comes from stopping guards. Like, they don't stop
That's
guards.
what I said.
Yeah.
Point of attack,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So then you don't have the rim protection that you used to with Joel Embiid. That's an issue. And there are times when Bona has the good Bona game, and then there are times when Bona has the not so good Bona game where he's not the rim protector that you would like to see. And then it's the Drummond factor as well. So I think it all starts from point of attack, as you said, with the guards slowing things down and not letting those guys get by them. However, it has. So when that does, what we used to see was guys, okay, JJ Redick, some of the other guards that used to be there up top, James Harden, Seth Curry, where they would get by them. You always had that one player in the paint, Joel Embiid, to clean up their mess. That's not there right now. As good as Bona is, he's only playing 15 minutes a night. Sometimes he only plays 8 minutes a night. And if he plays the 20 plus, he might get you 2 blocks, but still, he has his issues that he's still learning in the league. So it all starts up top, where they have to find a way to make sure that they don't allow that to happen from the very beginning. And then also defensively, the transition defense is still not all that great. So they have to tighten up on the transition defense. So there are layers here, different layers of what they need to do defensively to tighten up. And the crazy part is when you go back to some point in early December, they've been like the top 5. They have a top 5 defense in the NBA.
Well, they also can't rebound.
I was going to say,
like their rebounding is horrible. Like,
It's
got nobody can board.
dude, what is it? I've never seen anyone like Bona, who's as athletic and can jump. He can't grab rebounds at all. He's going out in transition before the ball's even bouncing off the rim. I've never seen a guy who can't get into position with his skill. His athleticism.
We talk about him. It's like, look, Mutombo hands or all kinds of stuff like that. Now at least Dikembe would squeeze the pill and secure the rebound, but his was more catching it on the offensive end. Yeah, it's unbelievable, VG, that he just cannot. He can get a steal. He'll get a block, and the ball is loose, and he still can't find a way to pick the basketball up. It's unbelievable. Jokingly said last night, put his hands in some dirt, rice or something, so you can try to toughen up those hands, man, because the athleticism is there. The timing has gotten so much better when he decides to attempt to block a shot and disrupt it and throw the guards off or whoever is trying to attempt a shot. But his hands are bad. So the rebounding is awful, as you guys pointed out. They'll have really good nights where they are the ones that have the advantage. Look at last night. You look at the stats, they were neck and neck last night in offensive rebounds with the Phoenix Suns. Normally that is a problem, but they were right there with them. It all ended up pretty evenly last night in that loss with the Suns. But defensively, rebounding, Joel Embiid has gotten a little bit better where we're starting to see those numbers climb. But it's almost as if he's just figuring out a way to maybe tip it to himself, or he does put a body on someone and he grabs a rebound. But collectively, they have to be better. And then they bump into each other. They knock the ball out of the other one's hand, and then just timely rebounds for offensive rebounds for the offensive team. You get that offensive rebound and go back up for a shot, create another 3-point opportunity for them, whatever it may be. It just drives us crazy when we watch these games and see how they cannot rebound well enough.
I mean, I see the stuff that, like that you do, and I can't help but go that there's some coaching issues here. Like some of them are coaching points.
Yes. I'm not taking that away from the coaches, but also communication on the floor, number one. And I got this, right? I got it.
I mean, I tell my kids to do that every day. Like,
or the one,
right.
VG is near me and you, and he's saying two, right? It's the same team, whatever it is that they call out. These are fundamentals, as you just pointed out, that you're teaching kids when those players that are on the floor now professionally learned from years ago. So that is something that they just have to snap out of that. It's unbelievable watching a professional team where they end up.
But being buttoned up is part of the coach's responsibility, and that's what I mean.
It is.
Like we know that they know this stuff. We understand that there's a basic element to it. It's elemental stuff that we're talking about. But to be buttoned up is part of the coach's responsibility. And
sure.
I don't not in love with the way he coaches defense. Like, listen, you want to call me old school and product to Larry Brown and watching guys get after it defensively. I don't see that with this team, and they got enough defenders to do it.
You see it. You see it where you could see where the whole thing comes from or what the thinking is, and then there are nights where it's off. For example, on Monday against the Indiana Pacers, you saw how it was just switch, everybody switch, continue to switch. Now Paul George did not play, but everybody switching, hands in there, knocking the ball loose, creating opportunities, diving on the floor, getting those loose balls. Tyrese Maxey ending up with 8 steals. We've seen nights where VJ Edgecombe has 5 steals. Paul George, a similar thing. Same for Kelly Oubre now that he has been back. And we talk about the defense and the rebounding. Dominic Barlow, Jabari Walker, you don't have to teach them anything. They just go out there. The effort is there. It gets done. But those things will, as you pointed out, will just come back and bite you. So as you say about the game last night, that's a close one. The Cleveland Cavaliers game 2, where you're winning, that's another close one. Where
you lost on the penetration, a freaking dunk.
And how does DeAndre Hunter get a rebound? How does he get a layup after a made basket where Joel Embiid is trying to find Jared Allen, turn his back, and he's right behind him laying the ball up? Things like that cannot happen. So the fundamentals, the teaching points are that have to really just sink into these players if they want to win. Because when you get to the postseason, which they have been in the mix all season, so we look at them as a playoff team, those little things are going to matter. And when we look back at the 7-game series, and if they lose 4-1, we're going to point back to, remember when they lost this game right here by 3 points because of that, and so on and so forth. So they do have to tighten up on some of these small things if they want to be a factor once they do get to mid-April.
Do you like Nurse?
I've been disappointed with his tenure.
Yeah,
I've liked Nurse more than most people.
Yeah,
I've been disappointed. He's been better this year, of course, but I've been disappointed with what he has done with this team.
Yeah, I agree. Where do you see this going? Like, if I mean, we know the climate of the Eastern Conference, right? Realistically, where do you see this team going? I know it's a big open-ended question, but
I can see where they can be a second-round team. I can see where they're knocked out in the first round. the season has been that way where right now they're 4 games over 500. I think they're right where they're supposed to be, by the way. Yes, there have been games where they've been close and they've lost. But let's just go back to week 1 when I talked to you guys first 2 weeks where they were down big and they found a way to come back and win the way they should have gotten blown out. So I think it's all leveled off. So that's why I look at it and I say that I think they can be either one of those two teams depending on the matchup. I think it's really matchup heavy with this team of who they run into. Are you scared of the Cleveland Cavaliers? Are you scared of the Toronto Raptors in a 7-game series where you feel like you can't beat them? But if they get the Orlando Magic, you do think you can beat them. So that's where I kind of withhold some of that right now, and only because of who is it going to be against, where are you going to be, and at what are Paul George and Joel Embiid and VJ Edgecombe, because he's a rookie going into his first playoff, what do those three look like at that point of the season and against that particular opponent for that 7-game series? So
Yeah.
I think it
The
can
matchup will dictate that. Yeah.
I really do. And I do think that, hey, man, if Joel Embiid is having that type of run where he's rebounding, he's getting some easy buckets where he's not really exerting so much energy there, he knows he has to turn it up, so his defense is a little bit better in his 7-game series. There are no back-to-backs, as VG just complained about, right? That he can muster it up for a 7-game series where Tyrese wins one, Joel wins one, maybe Paul George wins one, and collectively they all win that fourth, right? And I know we've talked about this for years of how I look at formats of superstars winning in a 7-game series. So that's where I can see them advancing to a second round. Their defense can turn it up. Tyrese Maxey and Paul George and VJ Edgecombe can get some steals to make sure that they get some extra opportunities where their defense is poor, as you just laid out, where they're giving up too much in the half court, but they create enough turnovers where they get out in transition to maybe make up for it or even give themselves a 2, 4, 6-point advantage because of the open court things that they got off of the turnovers that they created. So I can see it going where they're knocked out in the first round, knocked out in the second round. I haven't gotten myself to them advancing to an Eastern Conference Finals. I've only allowed myself to think first round, maybe second round for this team.
I can dig it. I can completely dig it.
And again,
do you have
situationally,
I think they're going to the finals, but I think they got a move coming. Do you see them getting involved in like a Bobby Portis market?
Is that the move that you're
I would love
talking
that
about?
move. Yeah.
I would like that move too. I don't know, man. I haven't gotten that feel just yet with them as far as making that type of move. I don't know. Because their only trade candidates are Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, really, Jared McCain. If somebody felt like they wanted to take a flyer, but you don't have the same type of value as you did a season ago. So I don't know. And if Milwaukee's doing something like that, are they making another big move from elsewhere where it's a 3-team? Is Giannis on the move out where they're now just starting to unload players? I don't know. So I haven't gotten there quite
I don't
yet,
think that that's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to go fire sale. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but
yeah,
I can't say. Can you? I don't say.
No. I remember you asked me at the beginning of the year if I thought Giannis would get traded this season. I said no. I didn't think it would get this bad, but I still something in me still says no, not until the summer if they do anything.
Yeah.
But the Bobby Portis addition, VG, that would be fun. You bring some toughness. He can shoot. That's a guy who can play. He's played in the playoffs. He knows what it takes to win a championship. He's done that already.
Rebounds a little bit.
No, I mean, listen, I would like it.
That's
I
a
just
fun
don't.
name.
I think it's a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
like
a fun
pipes
name.
and dreaming.
I know you like pipes. My brother, we need a deeper dive with you soon, okay? Where we go through the league and we're going to start, as we transition out of football, it'll be, get some hoop going, all right?
Yeah, before the trade deadline, after the trade deadline, let me know. The trade deadline is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So
already.
February 5th. February 5th.
Damn, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Wow, man, it caught up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, it did.
My brother, we love you. What's on tap for you?
3 p.m. this afternoon. We're all in studio. Our only 3 p.m. show of the week. We have a 4-game week, so only 3 p.m. show today. I'd imagine we get into a lot of the midpoint of the season, 42 games in. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot about what we've seen so far through the first 42 games of the year and what the next half looks like. trade deadline as well. So 3 p.m. today, pregame show tomorrow, 6:30, Sixers and the Rockets. Should be a fun one.
That's a good one, man. Everybody should be healthy, or everybody should play.
Hope so.
That's one where everybody. That's a good game. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
and wrap up the week on Saturday afternoon, Knicks in town. So another tough one. And this stretch here, 9 of 10 at home. The only road game is Monday at Charlotte. VG, you talked about the back-to-backs. That's a back-to-back with Milwaukee night too, but should
a little
take
different because
advantage.
you have a matinee Sunday.
Yeah, but take advantage of these home games, guys, because it's going to get rough on the road here shortly.
Yeah. Great stuff, my brother. We love you, D. Thank you, brother.
Love you back. Thanks.
Devon Givens, all PHLY 6. We have the best Sixers coverage in the city. You want to make sure you follow all that stuff. Hey, it's a Wawa Wednesday, Wawa Big Deal Wednesday. And we started the show talking about the Eagles OC losing out on McDaniel. So EJ had a little nugget that dropped after he was on with us.
Is it from Diana Rossini?
It's his own nugget.
Oh, okay.
EJ, in fact, EJ tweeted it at EJ Smith 94. To close the loop, McDaniel. The Eagles and McDaniel had a lengthy interview with the organization virtually this week, according to multiple sources. Not in person, but the team did have contact with him before McDaniel decided to take the Chargers job.
Here's what I got. Julia ran a poll asking our chat if they thought the Eagles OC job was an attractive job. 61% said yes, 39% said no. And 37 minutes ago, Diana Rossini tweeted out that the Eagles are conducting their offense coordinator search with the understanding that Brian Daboll wants the Bills' head coaching job. And if he doesn't land it, Daboll is expected to wind up in Tennessee as the offensive coordinator for Cam Ward.
Ah, damn.
What the heck is going on?
Damn.
What is going on?
I want a Dable, man. Did I lose McDaniel? All right, well, I want a Dable.
Right.
I told you we're getting Kafka.
I feel the Kafka coming.
I felt Kafka. I told EJ last night, we were texting about it. I'm like, it's going to be Kafka.
Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like.
Man. All right, coming up. So I got a buddy of mine that we work together in New York. Fantastic. I mean, one of the great personalities, but a great sportsman. We covered baseball together. He does it all. Football, hoops, everything. Great baseball, man. He's a Hall of Fame writer. He votes for the Hall of Fame. And I wanted to talk to him, and I didn't even realize this. I wanted to talk to him about this class because I was so underwhelmed by Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones.
I agree with you.
Along with Jeff Kent. And he said, well, I submitted a blank ballot.
That's amazing. I love that.
All right, I do too. Rob Parker from Fox is not a guy that's afraid of anything. All right, he's always got an opinion. One of my good buddies from back in the day. We're going to talk to Rob coming up next. But first, let's talk about our friends.
Hey, let's talk about Ashley Furniture. I love Ashley Furniture. Now's your chance to transform your home for 2026 with great offers on your favorite looks at Ashley's New Year sale. Discover hot buys for every room in your house starting at just $299, and you can ring in the new year with new styles today and pay over time with 60 months special financing on in-store purchases. Don't miss out. Shop the season's must-have looks at Ashley's New Year's sale because we just love Ashley Furniture. I'm a hatsman. Wear hats. My closets are full of hats. And that's why Branded Bills, you got to listen up, man. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or even t-shirts, Branded Bills, they got you covered with performance and with some style. So if you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand out apart from the crowd, you got to get that brand out there. Branded Bills has got you covered because they're bringing you the best custom headwear anywhere in the game. So you can start your order with their dedicated team, and they'll help you create the exact custom apparel you need. They work with you. They listen to you. They'll shape it just the way you want your brand out there. They even have a partnership with Penn State as part of their campus collection, so you can grab some Branded Bills gear with Penn State and some other universities. So head over to brandedbills.com, use the code BBPHLY, and you'll get 15% off your first order. brandedbills.com.
Hey, we're from Philadelphia. We know that pests don't knock. They just show up. Human or the kind that you really skeeve, the roaches and rats. And that's why we got to go to Evans Pest Control. Evans, you want trustworthy pest control company? I give you Evans Pest Control. They're not some giant national chain. They're family-owned, community-focused pest control company right here in the Philadelphia area. Evans Pest Control uses state-of-the-art equipment, safe and effective treatment options. Their techs go through continuous training, so they're equipped to handle anything. Rodents, insects, termites, even bed bugs. They've offered priority services and consultations, which is huge when you have a problem with pests. We don't like pests. We skeeve them. We know it here at PHLY. My house, I don't trust it just to anybody. Visit evanspestmgmt.com. That's evanspestmgmt.com. Yeah. There's a lot of human pests out there, too.
There are. Yeah.
Some might even coach in Philadelphia. All right. I want to get to our next guest. I love him. Great work. He's a Hall of Famer, too. He's in HOF. He's HOF
Nice.
man. From Fox and way back in the day with me, Rob Parker joins us. Good morning, my brother.
What's happening? How you doing from Los Angeles? What's going on?
You look good, buddy. I miss you, pal. Killing it.
I know. Hey, come on. Me and Anthony go way back. We're old newspaper dogs from New York, covering Major League Baseball back in the 90s, man. Come on. We go way, way, way back. He's one of my favorite people.
It was funny. When I first got there, you're one of the people I connected with first. I was like, I love that dude, man. I was like, you were at Newsday at the time, and when Newsday was rock and V paper, and you were writing a column, and it was we connected right away, brother. You're one of the great ones. HOF, man.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? April 11th down at North Carolina A&T, actually, I'm going to be inducted into another Hall of Fame, which I'm really excited about, the Black Sports Writers Hall of Fame. It's on the campus of North Carolina A&T. I'm going in. Gary Howard, who was an editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer, right? Gary Howard is going in. Clifton Brown from the New York Times. You remember Cliff?
I
right?
love Cliff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cliff is from Philly.
Yep.
Cliff is going in. And Ron Thomas, who was the first NBA reporter at USA Today. So that's our class coming up April 11th down at North Carolina A&T.
Well, that's a big time class. Now that's a class worthy of candidates, which leads me to this baseball Hall of Fame class. And I go, Jeff Kent, Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones. Rob, what's the deal?
All right. Well, you know already that Jeff Kent is like the old Veterans Committee. They changed it to some committee that basically lets guys in through the back door. Like, you didn't get voted for 10 years by the writers. And I don't even understand it. Once that happens, that should be the end of it. And instead, that's how Jeff Kent got in. And then here comes Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones. And I'm not here to bash their careers. They were really very good players.
Yeah.
I said this on MLB Network yesterday. If I voted for the very good players that were on that ballot, Anthony, I would have needed 20 votes because there's a lot of very good players. You know that's in baseball. But do they reach that elite status? Are they Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Tom Seaver? Like Clayton Kershaw is going to get in. Justin Verlander is going to get in. Max Scherzer is going to – like, those are Hall of Famers to me. And instead, we're now letting everybody in. It's like an open door policy. And Carlos Beltran, for his 20 years and everything he's done, he was never the best player in baseball, not for one day. And Andrew Jones, everybody said, oh, he's the greatest center fielder ever. I hate to break it to you. Ken Griffey Jr. won 10 Gold Gloves too. Willie Mays won 12 Gold Gloves, mostly in center. He played left and right, but mostly in center. And Andrew Jones batted 254 lifetime. And look at his numbers. Anthony, after age 30, off a cliff.
Yeah.
Right? He got a big contract. He never played well again. I don't know how you put somebody in the Hall of Fame after that.
No, I'm with you. And I loved your statement, which is you submitted a blank ballot.
There was nobody Hall of Fame worthy. And I get it, like Cooperstown, it's a business. They got to have somebody because the businesses are counting on it. People make their trips to go to Hall of Fame, all that. But in my right mind and conscience, I cannot just vote for somebody for the heck of it. I've seen our brethren, Anthony, man, they're filling out. They get 10 votes, all 10. I'm like, you're emptying your gun. That's not what just because they gave you 10 votes. They're not 10 Hall of Famers on your ballot. Why would you give people who aren't Hall of Famers a vote? And then here's the worst part, and you know this happens a lot too, where no people don't vote for a guy for 9 years. His last year on the ballot, there's like some sympathy vote, and then everybody votes for him so that they can get in because they say, well, this is his last year on the ballot. If you didn't vote for somebody for 9 years, why would you vote for them in the
Right,
10th?
there's a reason why. There's a reason why you didn't vote for the dude. I mean, what are we kidding? You know, it's like, and I don't want to be like the old dude and this and that, but like you cheapen it. Why are we, this isn't participation because you play 20 years or you're a decent player, very good player. Like I covered Jeff Kent. I mean, good player. Hall of Famer.
Right.
Well, it's like, what? Robbie Alomar was a better player than Jeff Kent.
And here's the other thing, too, and this is what muddies the water and makes it bad, because when you start letting in guys who really don't belong, then that's why there was a drumbeat for Dale Murphy,
Yes.
a drumbeat for Don Mattingly. I mean, Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley, if they're looking at it and saying Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame, Scott Rowland's in the Hall of Fame. If I'm Jimmy Rollins or I'm Chase Utley, I'm feeling weird. Like why are those guys in and we didn't get in? So that's why I think it's dangerous when you let people in who really don't belong, because people didn't look at that as the measuring stick and say, well, if he's in, I should be in, or they should be in, or whatever. And that's what it is. And all you need to know is the Charlotte Hornets just announced that Del Curry is going to be have his number retired for the Hornets, okay? And I'm not nothing against Del Curry. Never an all-star. He won Sixth Man of the Year. How are you retiring his number?
You retired
Can you please help me? Seriously.
Because of him as a dad, because they swam and he had Steph. And that's why they're doing it. Like, are we kidding ourselves? Come on.
Crazy. And this is where we are now. Everybody's got to be in the Hall of Fame. You know, the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, a joke. Just go look. And and the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I get it because they count college and everything. But the NBA needs its own Hall of Fame because the Basketball Hall of Fame is a joke. Same thing, Pro Football Hall of Fame. I have an issue where they put in 10 people or whatever, and I don't even understand the process. Like some of these coaches on in. How is Adam Vinatieri not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? When if it wasn't for him, Tom Brady wouldn't have half the Super Bowls he had.
Hey, get back to baseball real quick. Because of the guys that I thought, like I'm a big Jimmy fan. Like I love Utley, but to me, Jimmy deserved it more than Chase did. And I could make the argument. He had an MVP, like tough position.
He at least had an MVP. I agree.
Yeah, like he was the guy that I was rooting for. Like I wanted Jimmy. He was the engine of a World Series team, of a team that was a contender too. Like I thought he had a decent resume.
No. I mean, he definitely. But I just think my thing is if you have to debate somebody, and if I have to debate you over him and you have to make a case for him, probably not a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
If I say Derek Jeter, I don't think you're going to really argue with me. The guy had 3,000 hits and batted .310 and won 5 World Series.
Right.
Are you really going to debate me over Derek Jeter? If I say Hank Aaron, he played 23 years and had 2,300 RBIs. He averaged 100 RBIs for 23 years. Are you going to debate me? So when you have to debate somebody, I always think that eliminates you because you shouldn't have to say that. You just should.
That's a great litmus
shouldn't be a
test.
debate.
It's a great litmus test. Great, it really is a great litmus test. Let me ask you about baseball itself now. And in Philadelphia, we're upset that we lost Bichette to the Mets, and that the Dodgers have just completely ruined the sport. How should we feel in Philadelphia?
I mean, I get it. Bo Bichette had a really good year for the Blue Jays, that big home run in Game 7. I mean, like, there's a lot to like about him. I think he's a Philly-type player, you know, named after Bo Jackson. I think that's so cool. His dad named him after Bo Jackson. It ain't even a nickname. You know what I mean? Bo. But the Dodger thing, I get it. Like I know people don't want to hear it. They did lose Clayton Kershaw. That was money off the books that they could spend. Kyle Tucker, he's a really good player. Is he a star? Does he sell tickets? You know what I mean? He's really good. But look at what the Dodgers needed, and even to win, they were 2 outs away from being $1 billion bust. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they don't get that home run in the top of the ninth by Rojas, right? Like, that's how close they were.
Yeah, the Phillies had him on the ropes. Yeah.
Yes, Phillies had him on the rope. Blue Jays had him on the ropes. They could have won that World Series 8 times, and they couldn't get the run in. You know what I mean? So baseball's funny. The Yankees have a lot of money. They haven't won since 2009. The Mets have the highest payroll in baseball. They haven't won since 1986. So you know this. The Cubs, it took them 100 years. These are all big city teams that didn't win before the Dodgers got on this little thing. They hadn't won since 1988. Like teams don't win that often. Even Kansas City's won a World Series before all these big city teams I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I don't think money automatically means you're going to win. I get it. I'm not into the salary cap thing because I don't believe that really determines whether teams have a chance. You could all have the same money. If you have a bad GM, if you make a bad signing, do you know what I mean? Like, those things can affect you.
Well, it's baseball, man.
Whether you have the same amount of money or not.
Yeah, and you know, the nature of the sport lends itself. Other sports, like, like you could see, if you look at OKC, barring a catastrophe, they're winning.
Right.
Like that, there's no one close to that team, right?
Basketball is definitely different because there's so few players. I agree.
Yes. And baseball, you don't get hot. Like, getting hot is a very real deal. My only fear about the economic future of the sport is when you mention Kyle Tucker, you're like, yeah, I mean, is he a difference maker? He's getting $60 million a year. Like, that's insanity. And you still have to give somewhat of a competitive balance to Pittsburgh and to Cleveland and those kind of mid teams.
Yeah, I get it, but what I don't want to see, and I'm going to say this, is I don't want to see what has happened in the NBA, where when you have a floor, Anthony, here's the problem. There's a certain amount of money you have to spend. So you might be Pittsburgh, right, and you have to spend a certain amount of money, but you can't attract the players you're talking about to come. So guys who aren't that good have to be paid and given this money.
Yeah.
Look in the NBA, how many guys sitting on the bench making $18 million who can't play.
Yeah. It's a great point, man. Hey, one of the themes of the show today, and I love that you're on, is about the attractiveness of the Eagles' offensive coordinator job, right? And one of the things I bring up is that if you're Mike McDaniel, you go to LA, nobody cares about the Chargers. It's easy. You got your wife's from there. You got, a stable situation with Harbaugh compared to Sirianni, right? Like, and you don't have to deal with, and as much as I love my hometown to death, it's hard to coach here.
No, Philly's one of the tough. Philly, New York, Boston. It's a country club out here. Okay, I've been in LA for 10 years, and it just is. And you're right. when you go to a Chargers game, 70% of the crowd are the visiting team people who want to get out of the cold weather to come to LA, you know what I mean, in the wintertime. So it is really weird in that standpoint. You go to Philly and people have demands on you, you know. Look, I always think of Doug Peterson, right? He won a Super Bowl. They couldn't wait to get him out of Philly. You know what I mean? Like, usually that's your trump card. You're going to be able to stick around a while. You know, look at Mike Tomlin, 19 years because he won a Super Bowl. John Harbaugh, 18 years because he won a Super Bowl. Usually that works for you, but not in Philly. People are very demanding, and I think that's why he shied away from the job, because there isn't a lot of stability right now in Philadelphia.
No, that's it. How hard is it when you're in a pose like what's the reputation of? Like, we know Philly, New York, Boston, but it's almost even more because New York is so big and Philadelphia's bigger than Boston. There is like we our only thing is sports. Like, that's what we do. Like, we do sports. That's what we have.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's always been that way. You know, Philly, I still remember, I almost worked there. I almost interned at the Philadelphia Daily News. I was in the final 3 when I was coming in college for an internship, and I didn't get it, so I never got to work in Philly. As you know, I worked in Detroit, and Cincinnati, New York, and LA, and so I bounced around, and I know sports towns because I've covered all these sports for. This is my 40th year now, but Philadelphia, it's just demanding, and I agree with you. The fans are passionate; they really care, and I see it. I got to say this too. Just in watching, sometimes you take for granted when you're a sports fan and your team, has won a Super Bowl and been to the Super Bowl, and then you see the reactions of the bars and the people in Chicago over Caleb Williams. I mean, some of that stuff, it just gives you goosebumps. You know what I mean?
Man, it was awesome.
Yeah, because that dude has electrified that town, man. When you, it's one thing, and I hear a lot of football guys, and I'm about the percentage. I don't care about his completion percentage. I don't care about all these other things, man. Can you make those throws when you really need to make them? That's what I look at. And I think people are so caught up in stats that those throws he made, the 4th and 8 throw against the Packers with the season on the line, 4th and 4.
Falling down.
Dude, that's football
like
to me. Am I right?
Falling down. Come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. And I'm a guy who in New York covered, I've been around so long, I covered Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I was at the Daily News in New York when Lawrence Taylor played back in the day. And I was there, doing sidebars and whatnot, and around the Giants and Harry Carson and all those people. Man, I've seen football for a long time. And people, they're so worried about his fingernails and all this stuff. Dude, that ball, he could play.
Yeah.
Anthony, he could play.
Yeah, I'm with you. My brother, listen, it's so good catching up with you, buddy. Really, man, it's great to see you. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame, another Hall of Fame. Well deserved, brother. Well deserved.
Man, I appreciate that. Love you, Anthony, man. We'll see you soon, all right?
Sounds great, baby. There he is, the great Rob Parker, one of my favorite people.
He's hysterical. I love that dude.
I
want to get a beer with that guy.
All right, we have got many in our back in my other life.
Yeah.
I lived a whole weird life.
Cool dude.
That was not previous to this one.
Yeah, I would like to know that, Anthony. I'd like to know that guy.
It feels like a whole other lifetime ago. But first, we're in overtime. Overtime in the city. That's right. Thanks to our friends. If you're watching on all of our streaming devices, please, YouTube, and like and subscribe. We would appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, man. Rob was one of the first guys that when I got to New York, I was in Chicago. I go to New York, and we palled around, and I used to travel so much that you just you meet so many people and there's so many friends. And,
Would you hang out with the local writers in each town? Like if you were covering the Mets and you're at a Giants
there was a
game,
lot
would you
of
hang out with
guys,
the Giant writers?
Like a lot of the guys that you hear of now that transitioned to like broadcast media. Yeah, like I used to hang out. It's a small group. Like you go to a town, like you want to go I wasn't the big let's go to dinner guy. I used to like to go to bars.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out. Like I have beers, drinks, gin and tonics. Like that's what I love to do. I'll grab a slice. Like I was also much younger, and there was the dinner guys that looked to go to the expense account route and go to these big steakhouses. I just wanted to go run.
Now I've learned that from back in the day, the umpires used to be good drinkers. They would all hang out at the Artful Dodger.
Craig,
So would you guys, as the writers, travel and meet up with the umpires and go to similar spots? Or
and the ball players. See, it was a different era.
Yeah.
So the ball players would go out. Like, dude, if I told you stories about when I covered the Mets, now again, the kind of personality I have. I love people, right? So I got along with just about everybody. And like, we would go socialize. Like, we would be, when those guys would come to Philadelphia, I would take them out to Delaware Avenue.
Oh, wow.
So
nice. Clubs on Delaware Avenue.
I mean, Cooch will tell the story. It was like, one time I had this little car, and I had like 6 dudes in this little car.
What's a little car? Like a Mazzamiato?
It was like I forget what it kind of was, but it was like a little tiny car. And there was that Z3 BMW with a small convertible. And
you had 5 ball players?
It was me, Tooch, P. Harnish, Lance Johnson. Who else was in that car? Hundley or Bonilla? I don't know. We had. We stood all the time. Like I would take them when they came to Philadelphia. I took Franco out to dinner. Like we out hang out.
Yeah.
Like we go to places but it was different because the ball players were first the money they were making was good money, but it wasn't like today.
Yeah,
they weren't there wasn't any social media. Mm-hmm. Like I could tell you crazy stories about being in Montreal, Toronto. And
I can imagine.
Right, and being. Saberhagen being out behind the bar, drink. Like I would,
the bar. What are you guys doing behind the bar?
Drinking, he was bartending. No, but like
going out in an alley behind the bar.
No, after the place was shut.
Okay.
Like,
oh wow.
Like it was that kind of atmosphere. It was fun, but it was every sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever sport I covered, like the athletes we would go out because that was the culture and the time. Where guys would be out, and I used to go out all the time. Like
sounds like a blast.
I tease you about. I was out every night.
I know.
It was funny.
That's why he hates me. He hates my lifestyle.
Yeah, because I love it.
Jealous.
I'm jealous. I'm completely jealous.
Yeah.
Like it was funny about Seinfeld. People talk about Seinfeld. I never watched Seinfeld when it was on TV.
Because you were just traveling so much.
I was out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch television. The only show I watched was The Sopranos, because it was like the late 90s, and I loved the show. So I made a point. That was really the only TV show that I watched on the reg.
That's fine.
Because I was never home to watch TV.
Yeah.
I was always out. Like my buddies would come with me on the road. I would have them come out with the players. And like I know the writers and whatever was happening, the guys would all come out. We would all go out, and it was just fun. It was it was a blast. And the ball players were like the writers, the ball players. We would all go and hang out together.
People want a whole show on Cuz's stories from the 90s.
We
should do Cuz's shorts. Story time with Cuz. We should do one story a week, like a 2 minutes or less quick story.
It was fun, man. It was like you would just go out. Like if I told you, and it wasn't. Listen, I like there was a story about Dwight Gooden. Like I was friendly with Doc.
Imagine this.
Very friendly with Doc, and like I remember being in a bar with him, and like you knew certain things. Like you weren't out to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Like
you weren't doing like gotcha journalism or
I
anything.
just love sports, right? Mm-hmm. So I loved like I went drinking with Tom Izzo one night during the final four, right? Like, it was like whether it was a coach, a player, I love that stuff. Like, I just want to learn about it and inside and every nuance.
Mhm.
Like, whatever guys were doing, I didn't want to hurt them.
Right.
Like, and I'm not a rat. Like, I'm not looking to get my own, stuff out there, my own name.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, I love writing and I love sports. So that's kind of what drew me to this thing. But it's fun catching up with old friends like Rob.
He was great. Dysfunctional in Buffalo. So they're having their press conference today, the owner.
Well, Sean told them the way it was, and they fired him because they didn't like what he said.
Well, Bills owner, Terry
Pagula.
He says, Keon Coleman's on the team, and the wide receivers underperformed a little bit. Bills owner Terry says the coaching staff pushed to draft Keon Coleman, something Brandon Beane wasn't 100% supportive of. Taking a shot at McDermott and a player on the roster, current player on the roster.
Well, because the story came out, like they had their exit.
Yeah.
And Sean basically told them what was wrong with the team.
Yeah.
And Pagula sided with Beane, the GM.
The call specifically using out a player, like that's tough.
It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
But they didn't like his messaging. That's basically what it came down to. It's a shame because Sean's a good football coach, man.
Yeah.
Sean is a very good coach. Anyway, all right. You want to hit some
nugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some good nugs.
It's the style for BT's nugs. BT's nugs.
Let's see what we're doing here. Indiana. Huge story, right? But I put in perspective of how big this story was and this turnaround Signetti's done. The Hoosiers had as many wins over AP top 10 teams this season, 6-0, as they've had in their entire history as a program.
Yeah.
Against top 10 teams, they were 116-1.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Fabulous.
It's nuts.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just can't get enough of this.
I love the story. I was tweeting something and somebody responded with, I was underwhelmed. I'm like,
underwhelmed.
I don't know how you could be underwhelmed. They were 16-0. Like, they were a great team and they played great. I think people get lost in the Indiana.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's a different world. Like, we have seen a sea change. We're seeing in the NFL too with, Tomlin and Harbaugh and McDermott. Like, these big names have been there for a long time. There's a change. But even more so in college because it's the entire landscape.
I'm curious, other teams. Who would be the next Indiana? Is there another Indiana that can come
Texas
out of nowhere? Well, Texas Tech is a pretty big program, though. I mean, they've had success.
But
they're not like Indiana.
I don't know, dude. I think they're closer to Indiana than they are to Texas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Texas Tech wasn't out. You just heard a lot about them this year because of the billionaire that came in. They're not like that.
So sometimes
don't sleep on Penn State. I got a weird feeling that Penn State is
they're like a blue chipper. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about it in general.
Yeah, you think you like this hire and the guys who were transferring over.
Campbell.
Yeah,
I do. I think Matt Campbell's a really sharp guy.
Sometimes when you're driving, you need to mix driving and eating. You're on the run. You might want to go through a drive-through.
I've done that. Yeah.
We do it all the time. William Shatner got caught eating a bowl of cereal at a stoplight. TMZ's got him. It's Frosted Flakes or Corn Flakes. He's eating a bowl of cereal, dude, at a stoplight.
Yeah,
how does it fit? Does it fit in his lap while he's driving? It doesn't fit in the cup holder. What's he doing with this bowl?
Like, I don't know how you do that.
He is one weird dude.
Yeah.
Like the thought. And like it's from home. It's a silverware at a nice ceramic bowl.
What's the
house
most interesting thing you ate? Not while you do, like, I sat in the car once.
Yeah.
And ate wonton soup.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes. So I'll tell you exactly. It was last year at this time.
Last year?
At this time. I was doing parks.
Yeah.
Right? It was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want some soup. Right? I was hungry. I had some time to kill before I went to parks. So I didn't want to go. I mean, it's one of those. I went to like a strip mall Chinese restaurant. I was like, I want some wonton soup. So I got wonton soup. And I sat in the car, ate the wonton soup.
But you weren't driving, though. You just parked.
Yeah, I was parked.
Oh,
I was in the lot.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever eaten anything weird like that. I don't know. Soup in the car seems weird to me.
I figured you would say that. Yeah.
Julie, you eat soup in the car? You eat liquids? Yeah? Yeah?
I'm a big, I love soup. Like
I've
wonton
seen
soup.
you. I've seen you devour some bowls of soup.
Yeah, when we go to the pho place.
Yes.
I love soup too.
Yeah, the pho. You like the pho?
I love it all.
Yeah.
Anything broth. I will eat it year round.
Me too. I like it's got to be blood red. I put as much hot.
You can't even understand it.
The broth is red.
It looks like lava. Looks like he's eating lava.
I might die.
Yeah, I love it.
But I try it.
Love it. I'll go for some today.
I can't get enough of Topper and these Phillies right now, so let's irritate ourselves once more. Topper was asked about running it back. And, these guys are really content running it back.
We're going to have 3 new relievers. We got a new right fielder. We're going to put Crawford. Crawford's going to get every chance to play. We've probably got a rookie starting pitcher in Painter. We got Otto Kemp, who wasn't here at the start of last year. So we're turning over 20 to 25% of our roster. So if you think that's turning it back or running it back, whatever the saying is, yeah, I can't help it.
He can't help us.
We're gonna have
Like, are they missing it? Like, they know what we're saying. It's the core. You gonna give me 3 new relievers?
But if you're
a rookie,
if you're a Topper, you can't say, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, why are we even playing? We got no Bo Bichette.
it's like, well, we are running it back. We got the core here. We think we got a good core. Yeah, we think we're just miss here or there.
He's telling you, he's got like, listen, he's trying to like it. Listen, I understand that the way Dombrowski sounds, the way Topper sounds, but if you gotta. That's how you have to answer it.
We'll continue on. Yeah, we're running it back with a cleanup hitter who had 12 home runs. We're running it back with a catcher who's overpaid in 36 and grounds out the double plays more than anyone.
You can't say that if you're those guys. Like you gotta.
Here's what I don't get.
Project.
There's got to be a way to project it without talking down to us and acting like we're dumb. That's all. There just has to be.
I know. I hear you. It's an age old thing, right? Where the fan base goes, you're talking down to me, and the team goes, well, like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not going to ruin my season by saying anything. Like, yeah, you're right. We're running it back. Don't come. Like, what are you supposed to say?
I don't know. You got to find a nuance. I'm not a PR guy. The PR guy's got to put something better in these guys' heads.
You get my point.
I get what you're saying, yeah. But there needs to be a better nuance to this where he's like, I can't help you. Like, this is the saying, we're content.
Yeah.
Nobody's content, and I can't help you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I hear you.
All right, this is my favorite. I love basketball coaches in college are my favorite, especially the old heads. Tom Izzo calls a timeout.
Oh, my man.
Yeah, you just mentioned him earlier. Kurt Tang is having a little issues on the defensive side, and he gives some words of encouragement to Kerr. Kerr, you can't guard my mother. My mother.
That's a great line.
And then in post game, they asked him about it because they got caught. He talked about Kerr and his mom in a nursing home or some home, and he probably couldn't cover. He doubled down on it.
Well, yeah. Good.
Yeah. I had to bring it up this morning because I was running a little late this morning, and I was like, come on, Peg, and we got to hustle, get the dogs out. And she has no hustle. She's like, there's a poison video.
She's got no hustle.
There's a poison video of like Nothing But a Good Time where the boss is giving the dishwasher a hard time. He's like, you got 2 speeds, slow and slower. That's what I say to her all the time. And I was like, I just saw this nugget. I was like, if you were on Tom Izzo's bench, you'd be like, Pagan, wait, you're the slowest person. Like, wake up. Just giving her waking her the old talk this morning.
Slow and slower.
I love those guys.
That's
Can't cover my mother.
That's great. All right, let's do it. Go back in the day with our good friends at TrueMark Financial Credit Union.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with TrueMark. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of pagans and stuff, back in the day, Gene Shue was trying to get Shaquille O'Neal. He brought in a little mysticism, and Gary Papa did a little story on it.
I love Gary.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace,
he
Gary
was
Papa.
great.
Yeah. Hey, there I am.
On powers beyond our imagination, such as the offices of Sixers GM Gene Shue, who called in Madam Vivian today, and she is a happy medium, at least as far as the Sixers are concerned.
Perfect. I think you're going to get your wishes. I see someone with the name House. No, not House. Shaquille O'Neal.
And if that doesn't work, Gene has some genies on his desk,
Get her.
dolls, if you will. Plus, Shue has a lucky shoe, as the big shoe show will start on Sunday.
Lucky Shue.
That could have been the worst medium ever.
The worst, dude.
Oh my God!
They just get someone like I hear something like a house, shack, Shaquille, Shaquille O'Neal.
You know how that worked out?
Not
we got
good.
freaking Sean Bradley. Shack-a-lack. Oh, God. That was great.
I gotta get out of here. The sun's coming on my face. I'm starting to burn up.
All right, you're starting to melt. On that note, Jules, great job, Jules.
Julia.
Love you. Great job. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.